All right. Good morning, everybody. Keep going, Eddie. That's awesome. Digging it. I got some lovely funk behind me, and I'm digging it. And I hope you guys are too. Welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. This is our love stream. We are so excited to be with you guys today, and I'm so excited to introduce Eddie Watkins Jr., our guest musician today. Reverend Elizabeth will be up here in just a minute. In the meantime, we're going to let Eddie get us pumped up and ready for this day. I'm super excited. Thank you, Eddie, so much. And take it away.
Woo! Are you ready? It's a new day, y'all. Every day we're born again to create this world we live in. So now let's claim our good and speak our word and release it to the universe. Right here is where we take a stand through compassion for our fellow man. Right now we're making a difference. Oh, it's a new day. All together, hand in hand, we sing our love across the land. Right here, we're making a difference. Oh, it's a new day. Every day we're filled with wonder by the glory of the silent thunder unfolding from down under. Satchitananda. Oh, right here is where we take a stand through compassion for our fellow man. Right now we're making a difference. Oh, it's a new day. All together, hand in hand, we sing our love across the land. Right now we're making a difference. Oh, it's a new day.
Woo! Yeah, so awesome. It's a new day. Welcome, Eddie Watkins Jr. We're so happy and feel really blessed to have you with us today. Woo! That was amazing. All right. So hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. And I have an affirmation that Gina will put on the screen here, and I invite you to please repeat after me. I trust and allow the divine wisdom within me to guide my decisions and to light my path.
I trust and allow the divine wisdom within me to guide my decisions and to light my path.
I follow its lead.
I follow its lead.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And now Travis, our music director here, will introduce our musician for today, Eddie Watkins Jr.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to allow some time to introduce this illumined soul. Eddie Watkins Jr. was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, home of the Motown sound. Back in the day when Motown packed up and moved from Detroit to Hollywood, Eddie followed and very quickly became one of the premier session bass players in town, playing bass for everyone from James Brown to Barbra Streisand. In time, Eddie had an awakening, which led him on a spiritual search for clarity about the true meaning of his life. He was introduced to New Thought Asian wisdom principles, which changed his life forever. Eddie served 3 years as the music director at Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, and 3 years as choir director and director of music ministries at the Center for Spiritual Living, Seattle. Renowned session musician, arranger, producer, and songwriter, he released his 6th New Thought CD, Heart Songs, in June 2017. When Eddie performs, no matter where or what the event is, there is a divine flow coming through him that is so real, people are transformed by his music. During this pandemic, we've seen Eddie performing live concerts, dance parties on his Facebook page, and be sure to look out for him on social media, YouTube, and check out his website to purchase his amazing music. It is an honor for me to introduce to you the amazing Eddie Watkins Jr.
Thank you so much, Travis. Thank you. It's beautiful. Thank you. So kind. All right. We're walking with the Spirit in front of us, and that's the only way to go. I'm walking with the Spirit, and I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning from the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit. I'm growing with the Spirit, and it's showing the Spirit. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. Well, I'm walking with the Spirit. I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit. I'm growing with the Spirit, and it's showing the Spirit. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. Well, but when I find myself in one of those situations that's leading to some kind of drama or confrontation, I go within and get plugged into my friend before it's too late. I put the Spirit in front of me to make those crooked places straight. I'm walking with the Spirit. I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning the Spirit, and I'm turning to the Spirit. I'm growing with the Spirit, and it's showing up, it's showing. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. Well, when I find myself in one of those situations when I don't know what to do and got no explanation, I go within and get plugged in for a revelation. And 10 times out of 9 things will work out fine without my participation. I'm walking Spirit. I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning Spirit. And I'm turning to the Spirit. I'm growing Spirit. And it's showing. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. Well, I'm walking and I'm talking to the Spirit. I'm learning and I'm turning. And it shows, showing. I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. Woo!
Amazing. Woo! Walking. You
All
feeling
right.
that, everybody? Woo! Yeah.
Eddie Watkins Jr.
Woohoo! Yes, thank you. We love you.
All right.
Yes. Oh.
So that's right. Once again, my name is Travis, and I'm doing double duty as your announcements angel. I want to wish you a good morning, CSL. Welcome all friends and family to our love stream. I will now read our mission statement. With everything we do, we aim to raise the vibe. We teach innovative spiritual practices and principles that inspire deeper love of self and others, transformation, a closer relationship with God, freedom from suffering, expansive joy, prosperity, and healing of the body, mind, and spirit. We are a conscious group of positive, inspired, spiritually motivated individuals transforming lives. We just happen to have a spiritual center. Want to check us out?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. So thank you so much. Please join us for a coffee and conversation at 11 a.m.-ish via Zoom. Gina will provide the link in the comment section here, and you can also find it at our center's webpage in the Coffee and Conversation event. Then at about 11:30 a.m. on the same Zoom call, we're going to raise and praise our dear Cliff and Maria as they embark on a journey to Colorado and Oregon. They're going to be resettling there. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to do some raising and praising. We build our community, we build our immunity and spiritual community. And so remember to join us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m. via Zoom for our spiritual connection call. Come one, come all. You can find the link on our Facebook page under events. They're always fun. It's a great way to connect during this very unique time. And also on Wednesday night, we have myself and Reverend Elizabeth. We're having a date night with God on Facebook Live this Wednesday at 6:30 for 30 minutes of prayer, meditation, and music. Next Sunday, May 31st, we have another special service planned for you with the amazingly talented musician Mark Stanton Welch. Whoops, where the light gets in, but it's actually Mark Stanton Welch, and who's going to be joining us. Bob Sima and Shannon Plummer will be the first week in June. So our bad. We sent that to Gina for that slide. Sorry about that. So that where the light gets in is in 2 weeks. Mark Stanton Welch will be with us next week. And lastly, if you're able, please remember to continue to donate to our center during this unique time. Our operations are fully supported by your generosity, and we're looking forward to gathering at our physical center in the future. So we're not passing around the basket, so to speak, but you can always donate here on the Facebook Live with the donate button. Gina will provide the PayPal link to donate in the comment section if you prefer that. You can also visit our website's landing page and click the donate link anytime to the center of that page. We want to thank you for your consideration. We want to thank you for your love and appreciation. We love you. We miss you. We're so glad to see you on this love stream or on the replay if you're watching us on the replay. We love you. Thank you so much. And with that, Reverend Elizabeth.
Hello, beloveds. I just want to take this moment to remind you that if there's anything that is weighing heavy on your heart for which you would like prayer for, we are happy to pray for you over these. Were you just pointing at something? Yep. Okay. You can send an email to info@ccccsl.org for your prayer requests. Again, if there's something heavy on your heart, or maybe you're looking to just transform something in your life, manifest, we're happy to pray for you. And we have an ecclesiastical team who is doing the prayers. That's myself, Reverend Diane Davison, our assistant minister, and Maria Bucaro, who is still our practitioner and will continue to be for a while. So thank you, blessings. And now Charlie will provide the reading for us.
Thank you, Reverend Elizabeth. Thank you very much. Today is The Path Made Clear was your title, and this is all 100% Holmes. Hope is good. It is better than despair, but it is a subtle illusion and an unconscious compromise. Hope has no part in an effective mental treatment. There must be no compromise with the consciousness. The one who wishes to demonstrate some particular good must be conscious of this particular good. If one wishes to experience it, therefore, one must make the mind receptive to it. One must do this consciously. There is no hocus pocus in mental treatment. It is always definite, conscious, concrete, and explicit. We're dealing with intelligence and should deal with it intelligently. Treatment is not willing things to happen. It provides within ourselves a path through which they may happen. Treatment opens up the avenues of thought to expand the consciousness and let reality through. Never say, I'm not good enough to treat. In God, there is no good, better, or best. The possibilities of the law are infinite, and our possibilities of using it are the limitless. The way to work is to begin right where we are, and by constantly applying ourselves to the truth, we gradually increase in wisdom and understanding. In this way, good results are obtained. If day by day we have a greater understanding and a clearer concept, if daily we are realizing more truth and applying it in our actions, then we are on the right path, and eventually we shall be made free. We already live in a perfect universe, but it needs to be mentally seen and spiritually experienced before it can become a part of our everyday life. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Thank you. So, hey, let's do some of that right now. Let's picture that beautiful presence right here with us. So I invite you all to just turn within with me, and let's acknowledge together this perfection that exists, this God, this spirit, this divine energy, whatever it is that you choose to call it, that calls to your heart, your special word for the life force behind all things. Let's just acknowledge its presence right now and know that there is no place that it is not. It is everywhere, just as it is within me, within Reverend Elizabeth, within Charlie, within Eddie, in all the different locations that we are at and all the different locations you are at. We are all still united by this divine source. And we know that there is only good for us right here, right now, on this love stream today, in this moment, whether you're watching it live with us right now or you're watching a replay later, or you're somewhere else on the earth and the planet. We're all in the same place. We're all in this same divine energy. And I just know that this time that we are living in is such a true, unique, beautiful experience. An experience of love and compassion and caring. It is what calls forth the good that lives within us for us to show up and to bring the presence of God and Spirit wherever we are. And so we know that this is happening today, whether it's right here in your spot by yourself, whether you are caring for a loved one, whether you are concerned for a loved one, perhaps. We're bringing that vibe and that energy right now to them and to you and to myself. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity to share and commune together. I'm so grateful to hear such wonderful spirit expressing through Reverend Elizabeth in the great words that she speaks, in the beautiful music and uplifting, joyful energy that Eddie's bringing to us with his bass playing and the music he's sharing and the words he's saying and the beautiful expression and the dancing we do while he plays for us. Yes, it's amazing. And the words that Charlie spoke and everything, all the things that we're sharing in the comments, sharing the love stream to your friends, all of it is so good. It's all God. And so we could just release now and enjoy and let it be and let it unfold in front of us, just like we do our life. Let it be. And so together we could just claim our good by saying, and so it is.
All right. And now, Eddie Watkins Jr.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road. Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. Wherever you are, I want you to clap your hands and sing it with me. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. And look at the person next to you and say, you are the place. You are the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. You are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Wow.
Woo! Yes.
Thank you.
My
Thank you.
favorite.
Wow. Oh, thank you again. Beautiful. We are the place where God shows up. Wow. Well, gosh, I just need a moment. I'm a little bit speechless from that super powerful prayer that Gina gave to the amazing music by Eddie Watkins Jr. Eddie Watkins Jr. I'm so moved. I'm like, I feel the spirit moving in me. How about y'all? Are you guys feeling that? Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now I'm ready. Hi, everybody. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley, and I am the spiritual director for the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. And I'm so happy to be here with you today on this beautiful day, Sunday, May 24th. Happy Memorial Day, by the way. And Memorial Day is, a time when we honor the men and women who died while serving in the U.S. military, and Memorial Day is tomorrow, Monday, May 25th. So I would like us to take a moment of silence as we call to mind anyone and everyone who died while serving in the U.S. military. So please join me. And in this honoring, we send the friends and family who are the survivors, send them so much love from right where you are. Know that they're feeling that love coming from here now. Thank you, beloveds. Thank you for taking this time. So, welcome back to yourself. You are the spiritual leader and authority of your own life, in case you forgot. And I'm just here to remind you of a few things today, once again. And it's a great day to be here. So, the theme for the month of May has been Listen to Your Heart. And the theme today is The Path Made Clear. Well, so far in May, we've looked at the seat of the soul, listen to your heart, the great work of your life last week with Z and Melissa, and today the path made clear. So I don't know about you, but sometimes things aren't clear. Sometimes it's not clear which way to go or what to do next. And then we end up getting into situations that we don't necessarily love. But the point for you is to remember that in doing those things, we get clarity. So there's clarity about what we would love. And especially since we've done the thing now that we know we definitely don't want to experience more of in our lives. Can you relate to that? Yes. And so today's talk will offer you a recipe for clarity on your path and clarity of what to do and when and how to do it. So I can't dive into my talk without first addressing the reopening of the country. And so the genie is being let out of the bottle, folks. And so to speak, we're being set free, aren't we? We're being set free in this physical sense, being allowed to leave our homes now. And what we are called to do in this time is to be diligent with keeping our minds free. Keeping our minds free. So there's emotions that are being released. I heard at the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living, Reverend Jay Lang spoke about being unbottled and how they had this benefit concert or day, and it was about being unbottled, and we're sort of being unbottled, and emotions are getting released. So for me, what I'm noticing in others and a little bit in myself is a lot of anger and upset, and it's about what other people and what other people are doing or not doing. So again, I'm noticing a little bit of this in myself. And just Friday, I think it was Friday, I was out jogging through my neighborhood and two people came along the sidewalk, and these two people had two big dogs, and I was running in one direction and they were running towards me, and it suddenly felt like this game of chicken. And it was like, well, who's going to move first? And then we got, this 6 feet apart, and then I realized, oh, it's going to be me, so I'll just run out into the street. And I ran out into sort of the bike lane there, and then turned onto the street that I was going down, and I got upset internally. I felt like, man, why didn't they move? I'm always moving. But it was so funny. I was like expecting that they should move. And I don't know, was some sort of righteousness or something in me. So what happened though in the moment that I got upset was that I tripped. So I tripped and I fell. Luckily for me, I didn't hurt myself. I didn't do damage, but I tripped on my own feet. And in that moment, I realized how I created that for myself. I tripped and it didn't feel good, right? So I shook it off. I shook off that feeling of not feeling good after tripping and falling. And I also realized I need to shake off the judgment. And I am releasing judgment in this moment. Release those judgments and be liberated from any upset about other people and what they're doing. And I made the conscious choice to set my intention in that moment, not to be judgmental of others, but to be mindful of myself and my own actions and be willing to fine tune them accordingly as needed as I move through the world. So we're navigating interesting times, folks, and I'm inviting you to do the same. So breathe in, Breathe out. Remember that you can't control other people, that you only have control of you and how you respond, both internally and externally. Are you with me on that?
Yeah.
Can I get an amen?
Oh, amen.
How about an and so it is?
And so it
Woo!
is.
Yes. Why? Because you are the place where God shows up. God shows up in, through, and as you. And when we're judgmental, the problem is that we are not able to love. We are not able to be that beautiful, magnificent conduit and presence of love that we came here to be. So, as we all set this intention to drop our judgments of others, because as we do so, we allow ourselves to love others and ourselves. Now, the interesting thing is when we're judging, we're actually condemning, right? So we're condemning others. But did you know that? I'm sure you did. Y'all are very brilliant folks. But when we're judging others, you're not really doing anything to them. What you're doing is in your own consciousness. So your judging is happening within yourself. So that judgment, it it alters you, and it changes you, and it constricts. It actually constricts that flow of energy. But the divine good wants to pour forth through you into your life. But there's this judgment that's like kinking the hose, and so it can't get through. So this is the time for us to come back to this frequency and vibration of love. We don't have to live in that matrix of separation, because that's what the judging does. It keeps us separate. I don't want to be separate. I want to know and experience and express the oneness. I want to unite with the cosmos and all that is. How about you?
Sure.
Sure? Okay.
I'll take it.
He's in. So we have no control over others, and what you think that you're doing to them by judging them, you're actually doing to yourself. So that is that you're condemning yourself. So knock it off. This is your spiritual 2x4, my spiritual 2x4, right? I'm speaking to you and speaking to me. So we aren't here again to condemn ourselves, and we're not here to condemn others. We're here to be free, to live, to elevate and rise to the glory of the united spirit. Yes?
Yeah.
Amen. So rather than judging and allowing yourself to become upset, bless them. Say, oh, bless your heart, right? You got to practice that. It's definitely a practice. Whenever you want to judge, oh, bless your heart. Raise them and praise them in the name of love. Just like I raise you and I praise you in the name of love. And by doing that, you are raising and praising yourself. Yourself, my loves. Don't you want to be raised and praised? That's what we're up to. We all want to be free. So set yourself free here and now. You and only you have the power to do so. Wow. This sermon could be complete just with that. But there's more. But wait, there's more. So when the vision is clear, the decision is easy. I love that first statement from the sermon outline. And with that, surrender is the key. So we're called to let our faith be a lamp unto our feet, and know that God goes before us and makes the crooked places straight. Be open to divine guidance and trust it, right? There's this thing, this invisible presence that is everywhere present, simultaneously, always, everywhere. And it knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And we are called to, all we've got to do is focus our attention on it. We unkink the hose by releasing our judgments or our condemnation of ourselves, which expresses as condemnation through others. But if there's only one, then it's just you. So surrender is the key, right? Out of no way, a way will be made. And that is a beautiful thing. So our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, wrote in The Power of Idea on page 94, as you listen to the divine wisdom within you, you will receive your inspiration and guidance. As you speak your word, think your thoughts, or make your affirmations with complete conviction, you will discover that you are using a power that actually is and that actually does respond to you. The spirit within you is God, the infinite source of your intelligence and wisdom and creative power. Wow. So we are called to go within, to listen and find the answer. Listen and find the answer. So again, over the course of our lives, we come to different crossroads, do we not? Those are forks in our paths. And we've got this choice of how to proceed. Should I go left? Should I go right? I'm not really sure. Neither one is really calling. But in those times, it's crucial for us to stop. Just stop and be still and listen to your inner guidance. Because while you may not know intellectually speaking, there is a place within you that knows, and that is the seat of your soul, right? And so we listen to our heart. The seat of our soul speaks, and that seat is the seat of divine consciousness, your highest self, the self within all selves. So we may become challenged to know which way we should be going and overwhelmed by the different options and uncertainty before us. I know in the past what I've done is sought out opinions from other people and try to look at all of the different options, but then you sort of get in this paralyzed state. You're paralysis by analysis. And it's precisely in these moments that we are invited, though, to deepen our practice, to turn within, to listen to that wisdom. And in the silence, we will find the wisdom that we seek. So whenever I think about listening, and it's like a deep, deep listening, a listening with all of my being, I think of listening with all of my awareness, to hear with my inner ear, like you're listening to Thich Nhat Hanh, who speaks so softly. He speaks very softly. I don't even know if you can hear me. But he speaks so softly, and sometimes you've got to wrestle your mind away from thoughts of fear, doubt, judgment, or worry so that you can listen, because it is a still small voice. That voice of spirit is gentle and loving. It's your best friend. So I wanted to share with you a time when I went to hear Thich Nhat Hanh share his wisdom with some friends a few years ago at a theater in Oakland. It was a beautiful afternoon, but there was one thing that really pierced my heart. Out of everything that happened that day, he spoke some great words of wisdom, but the thing that really pierced my heart was about listening. His voice was a soft, soft whisper, practically inaudible. And I felt frustrated because I couldn't hear him. And I was struggling with why it was that I couldn't hear him. We're in a theater, for crying out loud. Don't they have audio people? Oh, wasn't he mic'd for this huge event in a huge theater with hundreds of people attending? What's wrong? What's happening? It's total judgment again, right? Judgment and frustration about what the heck was going on. But I swallowed my frustration, and I did the only thing in my power to do, which was to listen more deeply. And so the distractions continued all around me, and I listened more deeply. I became completely still. Everything in my being was focused on hearing what this wise man was trying to convey to us. I was so still. I could hear the shuffling around, people moving in their seats, doors opening and closing, coughing, sniffling, a water sipping I could even hear, chit-chatting and so on. It was getting quieter though, because I could hear these little things that sounded louder now. So the entire theater was called to become still, to get quiet and still enough so that we could hear the words that he was here to share with us. And suddenly it happened. It was as if everyone noticed and became still at the exact same time. His voice became really quite loud, very clear, crystal clear. We had tuned in. We had tuned into this master. Wow. That pierced my heart. Out of everything I heard that day, it was like, wow, life is so filled with distractions. There's shuffling around and busyness of our daily routines, and there's so much happening from moment to moment, right? But if we take the time to be really still and to listen deeply, we can hear that still small voice, which is the voice of spirit. That cultivates the peace, the clarity, and the presence of mind to be here now, accepting life exactly as it is. So, this leads to great happiness because there's no longer this game that you're playing with your intellect. And all we need to do is listen deeply with all of our awareness and our focused attention. So that is my story about listening. That's listening deeply. You know, you can hear somebody on the phone and talking, and it's like just a communication. It's a one-dimensional almost type of communication, right? But if you are seeing somebody and seeing the facial expressions and the gestures and movements and the energy that's happening, that's so much more is being communicated than just the words, right? So how can we listen deeply at any moment? Now, returning to the idea of being at crossroads and forks in our path, and choice points and how we should proceed at these choice points in our lives, which, it can be challenging for us to really know which path to follow, especially when there's lots of good paths. It doesn't have to be like a negative thing, but it could be like there's so many great opportunities to pursue. Which one should I go for first? So when we become overwhelmed, that is precisely the moment that we are invited to deepen our practice and turn within and listen to that wisdom within us until we find it. We find the answer in our silence. So I love to do hiking meditation as a spiritual practice. It's one of my favorite things. And I was hiking solo one day several years ago. And it was the first time I went to hike on the Ontario Ridge Trail in Shell Beach. It's this trail that you can see off of the 101. And it's a very steep starting, it's like straight up the mountain. And I was on this path and did all this hard work and came back, and I was on my way back to my vehicle, and I came to a fork in the path, a very clear fork, and it was not clear which way I should go to get down. And I'd been hiking for like 5 miles and or 6 miles, and I was already pretty tired. I needed to go get some food or something. So I stopped and it was like, should I turn left here? Should I go forward? I'm not really sure what to do. And I just stood there, sort of surveying my options, looking down to the left and trying to see what was there. You couldn't see that far though ahead, right? Which is such a God thing. And I looked to the path forward and couldn't really see too far down there. And I was just like, So in that moment, the still small voice within me urged me to look to the ground. And I looked to the ground, and I'm not kidding. This is when I saw an arrow made of rocks pointing to the path on the left. What? I was beside myself. It was not an obvious way to go because that path was slightly overgrown with bushes and brush, and it didn't seem clear, right? That path was not clear, but the arrow was clear. It's like, oh, well, that's the way to go. Hello, how easy is that? I felt this burst of giddy joy bubble up from my toes in that moment because I knew that it was the universe speaking to me. It was like I asked this question and it answered, and it was a powerful answer. And I was so grateful for that. I felt connected and directed by my source in that moment. I was one with the one. Wow. So it was such a powerful reminder for me that the answers are always right here. The answer is within me. I just need to stop, be still, let go of thoughts, you know, Let go of the thoughts, because the thoughts can start coming and they come fast, and you want to believe every single thought that comes through, but we're called to not do that. So if I listen and pay attention with all of my awareness, everything, looking around over here, looking around that way, you look up, look down. There's a lot happening out in the world all the time, is there not? But paying full attention with all of my awareness, I noticed it. The presence is here, and the same is true for you. So pay attention and notice everything that's happening around you, and the answer is right there within you. It's here. Just look, listen, and feel, because that's a huge part of it too, right? You've got to feel your way around, feel your way around consciousness. So, yes. To anchor this, Dr. Ernest Holmes, once again our founder, in The Power for Good, Lesson 10, page 49, wrote, "There is within ourselves the answer to every question and the solution of every problem. That spirit makes demand and will answer that demand from within when we allow ourselves to wait for the mental storm to die down." That's powerful. When we allow ourselves to wait for the mental storm to die down. The mental storm is the fear, the doubt, the worry, the judgments, etc. Be still and know is the secret of guidance, as it is of every problem of life. A perturbed mind can never get the correct answer, but a still mind always can, because the answer comes from the God within. So there is no confusion in spirit. So the answer comes from God within. Now, as we continue to court the presence of divine love in order to access the wisdom, Ernest Holmes suggested that we do court this presence and direct the law. We become completely consciously aligned with divine love and infinite wisdom. The one life flowing through me is perfect and complete. I am not apart from it. I am one with it in marvelous unity and freedom, one with the complete whole. That was Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, 1926 text, page 330, paragraph 1. So there it is. We've got to pay attention. Now, I want to share another story, and that is that I am a finder of things. I've shared this with you before, I know, but it's so instructive for us all. Now, I find misplaced things of my own and misplaced things of others, but it's not by ransacking drawers or frantically searching here and there that I find these missing items. Oh no, I sit down, I get quiet, and I surrender to the divine. I surrender, like I let the thoughts go completely. Any thought that arises, I release it. Any thought that arises, release, release. I also am called to release the nagging desire to go ransacking and frantically searching. Why is that the initial reaction? I can't find my wallet. And then you just start going through things like you're out of control, right? Or is that just me in the past? So, for years, though, I have observed loved ones looking for things misplaced. And this is what I noticed that they do. In my observations, I discovered that they almost always practice a couple of distinct behaviors. And one is to look in the same place that they looked before multiple times. The other is their state of mind during the search, which leans toward the desperate and hopeless side. The mind begins to race, frustration sets in, and the thought that they may never find what they're looking for again sets in, and you can just see it. So I picked up some of those habits along the way too, but I had to unlearn those in order to become a finder of things. You too can become a finder of things. So in the quiet stillness, I remind myself that there is nothing lost in the universe. I may even speak aloud the chant of Tony, Tony, come around. What once was lost must now be found. Who is Tony? Well, Tony is the Saint Anthony of Padua, who is the patron saint of lost and stolen articles. So he was a powerful Franciscan preacher and teacher and is one of the most popular saints of the Catholic Church. He found things. Now, I'm no saint, but I could tell you that there is a spiritual lesson here. In the quiet stillness of the moment, I allow my body to lead the way, and I go where it wants to go. I don't think about it. There's no thought process. There's no logic involved or questioning. I just go. And when I arrive at my destination, I may not even know what to do. I'm just standing there and I'll sort of look around and feel around energetically. And suddenly, voila, what once was lost is now found. It's as if I'm pulled to it like a magnet. So I've learned to pay really close attention to this, and I invite you to do the same. Pay close attention to these things, right? There is a spiritual lesson, and here it is. There is something within me that knows. There is something within me that knows, and that is source energy. It is the same thing within you that knows. It's not about the saint. It's not about Tony. It's about my innate wisdom. It's about your innate wisdom. It knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. It does not involve thinking or analyzing. It is infinite intelligence. So as we connect ourselves to this infinite intelligence, to this divine knower, which holds the blueprint for everything and has the answer to every question, we are able to find what we are looking for. So as I declare myself to be a finder of things, it's more than just physical things. I've played with this with love, with grace, with heart-shaped items. I go out and claim myself as a finder of things. We always get what we're looking for. We always get what we're looking for. And the answer is within you. You will be guided. So as you set intentions in your life, you will be guided to the way for that intention to manifest in your life, because that's the way it works. That's what I'm here to tell you. This divine intelligence, this divine knower, which holds the blueprint for everything, not just some things, everything, has the answer to every question, and it's right within you. That's pretty powerful, is it not? So my task then is to tune into this divine intelligence, and that is your task as well, to become mentally receptive and available to it and the gifts being offered. As I practice tuning into this frequency, I deepen my belief that I am guided, directed, sustained, and inspired by my source. And I find comfort in that. I find comfort in that knowledge, and it soothes my soul. If you find yourself frantic or stressed, I invite you to sit down, get quiet, surrender to the divine, and listen to your innate wisdom. And may you always find what you are looking for. I know that the path is made clear for you. So the stories I've shared with you today have illustrated so many points. In case you didn't catch the points, just a quick summary once again. They are court the presence, which is the divine love. Court the presence of divine love. Be still and know that the answers will come. Listen with all of your awareness. Trust the universe, God, Spirit. Have faith that it is guiding you always in all ways, and you will see evidence of this guidance begin to appear in your life, which builds your faith muscle. We have direct access to this divine intelligence that is within us. And it is, by the way, the very same divine intelligence that causes the earth that we're hanging out on right now, this planet, this giant rock hurtling through space. It's the same divine intelligence that causes the earth to orbit around the sun, and causes the sun to orbit around the galaxy, and causes the galaxy to orbit the multiverse. There's something bigger happening here, my friends. Let's tune into it and pay attention to that. Yes? Yes?
Oh yeah.
All right, he's in. He's speechless. So we are constantly guided with what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Actually, we don't even need to know the how because we're guided, right? So receiving a divine idea, we just know that contained within that idea is the how. The acorn knows how to become a tree. It doesn't have to will it to be. It just does because it does. So let's pray. Turning our attention inward in this moment, I'm so grateful to remember right here, right now, that God is all that there is. It's all that there ever was and all that there ever will be. And I'm so grateful in this moment to remember this truth, because as I remember this truth, I know that all of the answers are within me, that everything I seek is also seeking me, and it's right here within me. And so in this moment, as I identify myself with this divine love, I identify myself with this peace that passes human understanding, I identify myself with divine intelligence, I know that all that is available to me here and now, and I begin to notice it. I'm aware of it. And I'm grateful for that. What a blessing that is. And I know that whatever is needed will appear. All of my needs are always met, and the same is true for everyone watching here. And I'm so grateful for the evidence that is given to us in our lives for this. It's such a blessing and a gift to know that the path is made clear, that we are called to listen. And as we listen, we have the intention of hearing. I know that we are each given the internal guidance. We already know what is next for us individually and collectively. But will we step into that? Will we let go of our judgments and our fears and step into that yes? There's a still small voice that is whispering your celestial song. It's singing it in a whisper into your ear. But are you listening? And today we are called to listen. And as we listen with such deep, abiding, grateful ears, the answers come. Whether it's what's my next step, where do I go from here, or maybe it's the need to leave a relationship, or maybe it's the need to end a job, or whatever that is. I know that the spirit within each of us knows the answer. And so I'm very grateful to be walking hand in hand with spirit, knowing that it is what is in me, as me, and through me. It has breathed me into existence. It has breathed each one of us into existence for such a time as this. And the time is now. This is not a dress rehearsal, my friends. This is the time for us to get into the game. The great coach has given us our next steps. And so we step into them with a deep, unabating yes. Yes. Yes, Spirit, I'm available for this good. Yes, Spirit, I'm available for these next steps. Yes, Spirit, while I may not know why we're going in this direction, I'm saying yes and trusting in Spirit. I trust. I surrender. I trust. And the path is made clear. There is so much clarity here that it is like the windshield that was once dirty has been wiped clean, and it's like, I can see. Or that first time you get prescription glasses and you didn't know that the vision was altered or not quite as good for so long, and it's suddenly I can see, wow, I can see the details and the beauty and the magnificence. So we are all putting on our divine God glasses right now, and the path is made clear. So thank you, Spirit, for this clear path. Thank you for this time together. Thank you for this day. Thank you, Spirit, for the essential workers and for them putting themselves in the line, on the front line every single day so that we can continue to operate. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for all of those individuals. We're so blessed. We're so blessed. And thank you for this Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living community. What a blessing it is to have all of these individuals here right now, and then those who will be watching later. Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for Eddie Watkins Jr. and the music that he brings to us, the soulful depth and fun and joy. We are so very blessed. I'm grateful, and I'm grateful again to all of those individuals who have served in the military, and for those we have lost in the line of that. And I'm grateful for those who are still serving. Our country is so beautiful. We're so blessed. So thank you again, Spirit, for releasing the judgment. Any and all judgment is dissipated right now back into the nothingness from whence it came. There is no condemnation, only love. All we have is love for ourselves, for others, and we take responsibility for our own actions and the way that we move through the world. And it is so good. I'm so grateful for all of this and so much more. I'm grateful for the invisible blessings that are on their way, those blessings we don't even know about that are coming into our lives right now. It could be we get a piece of mail or we get a phone call and our world is transformed for the better. Or maybe it's simply that we've heard a statement or a word here today that has caused a shift. Maybe we'll sit in silence today a little more and listen. I know I will. I'm so grateful to know that this prayer is already complete, and I send it out to that universal and loving, creative action of the law where I know it is done. And I invite you to help me anchor this truth by saying out loud right where you are, and so it is.
And so it is.
Yes.
So it is. As we step, the bridge appears. As we step, the path will open. As we step, with faith sincere, the binds are broken. The binds are broken. As we step, the bridge appears. As we step, the path will open. As we step, with faith sincere, the binds are broken. The binds are broken. We are ready to receive and we only need believe. The good we seek is seeking us. We are grateful. We are ready to trust. As we step, the bridge appears. As we step, the path will open. As we step with faith sincere, the binds are broken. The binds are broken. As we step,
Beautiful. Thank you again.
thank you for a wonderful message.
Cool. All right. So it's now time for our gifts, tithes, and offerings. And we would love to have your support and know that we're continuing with our center, and there are bills that are being paid even in our absence, and your contribution really matters to us all. So thank you for those of you who've been sending in checks. We've received your checks and deposited them, and there are many ways that you can make donations. There's a donate button right here on this Facebook post, and there's our website. You can do paypal.me/cccsl.org. And there's a text to give, but I don't think that's on there. So let's cancel that. Yeah. So the giving affirmation: from the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world.
It does great work in the world.
And returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Yes. All right. Thank you, beloveds. I'm so grateful for you. And won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that you ever need do is turn within. And it is here you will find you are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my relationships.
I think it.
I think
I
it.
feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Woo! We'll see you on the Zoom call, and join us as we raise and praise Maria and Cliff, and maybe Eddie will join us and we can give him some love too. Woo!
Woo-hoo!
Yeah. Thank you, Eddie.
It was such a pleasure to be here with you guys. You guys are wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. You rocked
Thank
it today.
you.
Yeah. So hopefully you'll join us. So if you just caught up with us, go ahead and watch the replay of our beautiful Sunday Love stream. You get some great music by Eddie Watkins Jr., beautiful message by Reverend Elizabeth Rowley. And we'll be here every Sunday, 10 a.m. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Thank you.